All right, who wouldn't want to save? Here's a low and a high estimate. $14,285 a year, or just 1 year. Or, now here's the high one, $30,142. Now, granted, not everything I'm about to tell you is doable for you. Some things you have to have for your job, some things you have to have for sanity. I'm just going to tell you where we're at and what we're going to be intentional about and what we've never stopped doing. But this is insight on kind of what our family looks like and what we're willing to do in a no-spend year. Doesn't mean we're not going to spend money. It's just going to be a no-spend challenge, and we're going to say we're not doing these things. Or we're going to cap ourselves and do everything possible to not go over a budget. So clothing, cleaning your clothes. I'm sorry this video is not going to be edited. It's going to be quick, to the point. Even though I'm a rambler, I'm not going to have some fancy footage. So just bear with me. You're looking to save money. You're not looking to be entertained. You just need, with the high prices, to spend less money. So clothes. We're going to do a clothesline. You'll get to see this in our upcoming year. We're going to keep you informed monthly, if not more. But a clothesline. I kind of did some Google research. 5 loads a week can save around $280 a year. That's not that much, but it's still $280 a year. I feel like ours is more. We're a family of 5. Then next we go to cold water. Now we can't wash our cheesecloths in cold water. We sanitize them in the washer. That's 1 load every 2 weeks. But 50 cents a load is what you can save. So at that same calculation I just gave you, 5 loads a week, that's like $39 a year. But I'm estimating for us, and for maybe most people, because you're bad probably about if you've wore it for 5 seconds, it's dirty. With kids, they throw it on the ground all the time, but our minimalism has got us down to easily $5. Sorry, 5 loads a week. And we'll probably get down to even less. I'm doing the sniff test, the sight test. If it's not dirty, I am re-wearing it. Our summers may not allow us to do that, but there's ways to make this possible. But I'm still estimating higher than what Google search. I'm planning on saving $300 to $400 a whole year on line-dried clothes and on cold water clothes. But this is something we've not done for a very long time. My next point is TV. Do you know that people on average spend $55 a month on TV? That's not bad. Or $250 a month on TV. So what do I plan on saving still, which I have saved? We've been married since 2008. We have probably not had TV since somewhere, let's just say 2010. But you can save, with those estimates I just gave you, $660 a year, or on the high note, $3,000 a year. Who does not want to do that? If you're looking for ways to really cut your cost, and you have a DVD player, or there's other free streaming services of some sort, we only have our cell phone and we don't use it as a hotspot or nothing like that, that's okay. What we do, we can go to the library, they've got some DVDs, and then we have an antenna. We're saving money there. $3,000 is a ton of money. It adds up with, on the high note, the $400. Even $660, what could you do with that? We're trying to build certain things. I'll tell you in the end why we're trying to do all this. Library books. You may not be a book person. I get it, but I just mentioned how we go for DVDs. We also go for internet, computer. But just 1 book a month can save you $120 a year. Now, I took that in our wheelhouse. In our library, on the receipt that says due back date, it gives us a total for our savings each year. So you'll get to hear that total as we use it next year. But I took it with our family. I think at the most we're going to save, and probably even more, just using library books, no buying books, unless it's a school book that we have to have, will be $360 in savings. Y'all see how this is stacking up? Since 2020, we stopped buying paper towels. It was difficult to get them, and I started doing Norwex And I know microfibers have some voodoo on them, some bad vibes, but Norwex recycles their material. Most of their material that goes into their cloths are recycled. I have had them for multiple years. I use them milking, I use them cleaning, I use them in facial routines, everything. Like, they are reusable. We just reuse them. And that may increase my laundry costs, but I'm bringing my laundry costs down anyway, whatever. But who wouldn't want to save this, not buying paper towels? $200 a month, a year, 1 year, or $400 a year. Now for me, I can't dry my hand with one paper towel. I don't know what we used to spend on them, but I can tell you it's probably more than $400 because I have a problem with them. I used a lot of paper towels to dry my hands. I had 3 little ones, and I washed my hands all the time. So, man, I can use like 3 paper towels just to wash my hands one time. Think potty training, washing stuff, touching stuff, pulling something out of somebody's mouth, blah, blah, blah. That's a ton of paper towels. So I think $400 is way small for us. We have saved tons of money butchering our own deer. Now it's time for beef. That's what's for supper. And we have one picked out for the butcher and another one for next year. So we hope to save money not taking it to the butcher. That will save us about $300 a year. What's our next thing? Food. We got to tackle food. Food is costing an arm and a leg. We have to tackle food. We cannot survive it any longer. So I looked at what it cost for most people on food. And the price range that was given a year for a family of 5 is what I asked on Google, was $11,064. Okay, now here's another one. On the high range was $17,856. Plan on saving $10,000 on the high note. Because on the high note, if I only spend $7,856, now granted, I'm going to say around $7,000. If I can just keep it that, I'm good. Or if I can get really good at it, the low note, I hope to do no more. I hope to save $5,864. And that's on my low note. I hope to only spend like $5,200 all next year on commercial foods at the least. I'm not sure what it's going to look like to do local, fill up all my cans, dehydrate, freeze, and make from scratch. We'll just see what happens. So that one, I'm just hoping I'm not overestimating. But there are some huge savings in just cutting your grocery bill. And I'm still going to try to do it with a healthy way, where as much as possible. We'll just see. You have to stay tuned. Subscribe, do all that so you know. Here's something else for our family. Not eating out. We've cut that back a ton financially. We had no option. 1 meal out a week for $50. Now we're a family of 5. That's $10 a person. I know I have little kids, but just saying, that's $2,600 on the low note. On the high note, if that's twice a week we do that, that is $5,200. So we're going to do that. We're going to cut it out. We're going to have some convenience foods when they're on sale to keep in our wheelhouse, and we're going to try to stop eating out altogether. Doesn't mean we won't do a special occasion or things like that, but we're going to just cut down weekly, regular occurring eating out. All right, cleaning wipes. We used to OD on these things. We used to use them like they were going out of style. Who loves them? My Norwex rags keep me from having to use those. Water. And I have one disinfectant spray that I use, and that's it. I don't have a wheelhouse full of all these cleaners. I have soap. I have laundry detergent, no fabric softeners. I have one thing of disinfectant cleaner. I have a stain remover for clothes. Okay, what's the savings? Cutting them out, buying 1 container a week, and with kids I think we use more. 1 container a week, you can save $180 a year. Not a ton, but for a no spend challenge year, that adds up. But 2 a week, obviously, is $360. We stopped doing that. Also, during COVID, I wanted to remove chemicals. So in 2020, we removed chemicals to help our immune system. So also by looking into some things that you cut out, you might find a healthier lifestyle, which keeps you out of the doctor's office, which keeps you needing pharmaceuticals, saves you money, you might look into some of those things. All right, our next thing. Men, if you're watching, maybe just bear with me a second. I'll do this as politely as possible. I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable, but feminine products. What feminine products can you do? There are reusable sources. That may sound really gross to you. I'm sorry if that does, but guess what? You can save $211 on one person in your household using a reusable source. That being said, if you're also using it not for a monthly thing, but a all month thing for like women who have bladder problems, or this might even go to men who have had problems. There are reusable sources for that, absorbent things that you wash yourself. You can save $422 a year. So that adds up. And those reusable sources can last you maybe a year to 10 years, okay? That's a really long time to buy something once and done. And all you have to do is take a little bit of your time to wash it correctly. That's up to you. All right, this is a big one. Don't hate me. Don't subscribe. Don't do anything bad. You can actually, in a video, we'll talk with our kids next month on what this looks like. Parents, do you know on average, people spend $400 for one birthday party? Now, I put down on the low $400. But we have 3 kids. That would be $1,200 a year spent on birthday parties. Now, granted, if we wanted to, and maybe next time, we'll lump ours together. Ours are all November, December, and October. We could do one big party, save lots of money. Those are ideas you can have, and have where each one of them gets their own something at that party. Our kids, we've not really, and they don't care a ton, set them up to be like expecting these things. I'm not saying you're wrong, but a cake at home and eating their favorite meal, and we're good. We've saved a bunch of money, and they know what we're doing in this no spend year. We are going very intentional to meet our goals, which I'll tell you at the end. Here's another controversial one. So the gift part of it, whether it be Christmas, whether it be birthday, we're not doing it. I know, I just ruined my child's life. No, not really. This is something we kind of do common. We are not buying them gifts. They have so many that love them, they get a ton of gifts. So it's not like they're not getting a gift. If my children did not receive gifts from anybody else, and you're like, how? They don't get a party. Who's bringing them gifts? Their family loves on them and buys them gifts. We have a lot of people that their love language is gift giving. It ain't mine. So I'm not doing it that way. I love on them another way, and you can one day hear from them on what this feels like. But look at what most people spend on gifts, okay? $150. Now that's probably Christmas and maybe not birthday. To $600. If for our family, we add that up and we take it times 3, we're looking at around $600 we could possibly save for that price, that range. Because that range, I'm sorry, I wrote that down. That range for gift giving, people normally spend $50 to $200 on their gifts for their kids. So actually that wasn't even if we doubled it. The low range was if we doubled it. The high range, yeah, was if we doubled it. And that's just if we spent Christmas buying them gifts, or if we spent their birthday buying them gifts. So that could even get higher. But it's okay. We want to teach them about money. So something we're putting in, they always get money from people. And we want to teach them how to like the things they have, take care of them, purchase reasonable, smart, not impulsive buying things, pause before you buy it. So we're going to let them just do their gifts with some of their money, and we'll set a limit so that they can learn to save some of it and buy something that they did not get or have wanted. So they're not going to just be deprived. I'm sorry if you're offended. No, let's just say you spend money on having somebody detail your vehicle or clean your car. So let's just say every other week you spend $100 towards something like this. All right, that will save you $200. $2,600. Sorry, y'all, I'm so confused sometimes with my talk. If that is every week, $5,200. If you wanted to, for any length of time, do this, you would save money. If you made a goal for a year to go on a big trip or something and you wanted extra money for that trip, this might be a way to do it. I hate saying this because I'm a hairdresser and people utilizing me for something that they can do at home is my income. So you really have to think that through. Is it worth saving the money, or do you just really, you're doing somebody a favor. You probably know this person, they're coming in your house, they're getting in your car. You probably know their family to a degree. Is it really worth it? I say take this one with caution, just like you can save money by doing your hair. But I am one of those that do not prosper when you do that. So I get doing it when hard times hit, but I'm going to tell you, be cautious with those kind of things. Not doing Clorox wipes. Clorox loses one customer. Next one, I know this is not for everybody, but we have done this. We've never, other than our phones, had this in our wheelhouse. I know some people, this is their living, their income, their house. That's how they make their payments. They need it. They work from home, but internet. Google search said $1,000 a year is what most people spend on internet. Now, in our area, we ain't got good internet. So do you know what I hear people a month spending? $250 to get the better option of internet in their home. Gosh, do you know what that is? That's $3,000 a year. Now, you can't take it away and not make any money. That would be stupid. We're not stupid people. We've never needed it. We have our phone to Google something. We take our kids to the library. If I really need something, I go to the library. That's not a problem for me. Even when I worked, that's what I did. I do have friends that I might say like, hey, could you look this up and print it out for me? If I just had to, because I have a printer that I use as a, like a copier for schoolwork, but I don't have access to print from my phone. It required like a router or an expensive thing. I couldn't figure it out. I'm not tech savvy. This is not for everybody. I get it. All the things I've mentioned are not for everybody. Let me go over my list and see what else I might have missed. All right, this is one I can't give you a list on how to do, but these are some good reminders. I want you to think about your hot water heater. I'm going to start taking shorter showers. In the winter, I need to burn. I need so much heat out of that faucet that it costs me, literally. I have dry skin, and I also have to pay more because of my electric bill on my electric heater. But anyway, if I'm going to get my electric bill down like I hope, I need to think $400 to $600 a year is what people pay for their hot water heater to work. Now, there are things you can do like smart controls that don't keep it as hot when it's not being used, maybe at night or during work days. But you can also just insulate it. Ours is not. We need to address that because it can save us money. So, cool idea. What else had I found? Let's see. DIY. I couldn't really give you a price on that. Tyler has fixed our used vehicles, which is all we've ever had.
Thing I seriously forgot, unplug stuff. Phone chargers, anything that pulls electricity can save you. Don't not do it. We saved $30 15 years ago doing that.
So we've only had to have a mechanic work on a vehicle, well, actually 4 times. One we chose as convenience, but DIYing around your home and all that does you good. But I do go back to sometimes you are taking money from somebody. It may be something you think about because people have to make a living and they do it by hopefully doing good work. So DIY stuff. One thing after, like on our vehicle, Tyler gets parts that have warranties, lifetime warranties. So when his fuel filter goes out, his fuel pump goes out, it's under warranty. It keeps us from buying it again. That will save you money, especially if you can DIY it. Check the warranties on things before you just go and buy a new one. Good idea. Now, let's see. What else? You might also, another thing that goes back to like do it yourself, doing your own yard. It can be a health thing for you, why you can't, or it can be a health reason to do it. So I don't know. There are the things I'm offering you today in this video. Why are we going into a no spend year challenge? It is because when we moved 2 years ago to where we are, we lost money. No, it wasn't a foreclose. It wasn't a divorce. It wasn't a sickness or a job change. We're keeping that reason to ourselves. We lost money because we couldn't make money off the things we had done. Building a home and a life in the place where we had chose to do that from the start of our marriage. So we ended up having to leave, unfortunately, and it was the best decision for our family. But we haven't recouped that cost. One reason is because we didn't get to make a profit off where we lived. And we actually kind of suffered a loss that way. And you can't pull that out of nobody's hat. Like, we can't just find that way to recoup what we lost. But another way that we lost and have not regained is things cost so much right now. People's budgets are going up and their income is not meeting that demand. They should rise together in, a better world. But we're in the world we're in, and we're trying to next year pay off one debt we have other than our home, and we're trying to maybe save up for an emergency fund. We don't use credit cards, and we're trying to move forward to a place where we can have some security and just go at it with move on to what happened and building the next start. We started this journey 2 years ago, moving to the place I'm living now. We love it, and it's got generational good because my kids are the 7th generation to live here. But I hope for you to follow me, give me some tips along the way, tell me what's working for you, and are you having something hanging over you that you would really benefit from a no spend challenge, whether it be a month, a year, or what. This is probably going to be difficult, but I hope to keep my grocery bill down and my electric bill down, and we're going to just do this along the way. And some of those things we've done forever, but we may need to get back to some of them. Real intentional with our money. I hope to do that. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Follow us next year through this interesting and probably an oddball idea of a year.